this is the one thing that almost every one of us gets wrong about boundaries. I actually heard it from a preacher. Her name is Pastor Stephanie Okafor, right? And this is what she said: boundaries are not created or made or effected for the strongest versions of yourself. They are actually created for the weaker versions of yourself. I think one thing that we mistake about creating boundaries or making boundaries about our life, both emotional, physical, financial, spiritual, whatever it is that we think that boundaries are made when we are at the lowest. That's when we begin to craft the rules, we begin to make the protocols, we begin to create an exit plan. We forget that when we are at that lowest, the last thing we're actually thinking about is making an exit out of that version. You're dealing with sin. You're at the point where you're about to compromise. The last thing you're thinking about is actually saying. So boundaries are not created when we get to that point of ourselves. Boundaries are created when we are at our highest, when we are at our best, when we are at our strongest. That's when you begin to craft your game plans, you begin to make your exit plans, you begin to create systems around, okay, should this happen, this is what we do. Plans are not actually made when they are needed, they are made ahead of when they are needed. Because then we've already looked at ourselves in the mirror, we've already chanted it time and time and time and time again to ourselves, imbibed it as values in ourselves, so that we know that, oh, when this actually happens, because life is in ups and downs, right? We are going to have our lows because we've had our highs, right? So we know that when we do get to that weaker version of ourselves, we already have a game plan, we already have an exit plan on what it is that we are going to do to walk out of that situation without the injury. I don't know if that makes sense. You don't make boundaries when you're at your worst version. The same thing works in business actually. When you're dealing with private equity or acquiring private equity, you don't canvas for funds when you are in need of funds. You're going to make bad decisions. You canvas for funds because you are not in need of funds, so that you have funds ahead of when you need them. In the same manner, you create boundaries for yourself ahead of when you're going to need that boundary, because you do not want to cross the marker at that point. I hope that this has blessed you and clarified how it is that boundary works for you, so that you begin to get better results from the decisions that you make for yourself. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next.